Thank you for tuning into this month's video. This month we're going to be talking about motorcycle accidents, which, to be honest, are a case type that we really have an interest in handling. For personal reasons, we got into what we do, and honestly, representing people who've been through motorcycle accidents is a personal passion of ours. So this month we're going to be talking about when and why you might want to hire counsel if you're involved in a motorcycle accident. Before we get into the topic, I do want to mention that motorcycle accidents are unique. They're unique relative to auto accidents in that, unfortunately, when you're involved in a motorcycle accident, there's very little protection around you. And oftentimes the injuries can be quite severe when people are involved in a motorcycle accident. Also, there's public perceptions regarding motorcycle riders, whether it be a sport bike or a Harley or a cruiser. There's going to be certain mindsets that potential jurors or even adjusters may have when evaluating the claim and who may be at fault. They are difficult accidents to work up also, in that sometimes if it's a motorcycle involved and the other vehicle doesn't have crash data, we may not be able to get any data from the vehicles in order to assess who's responsible. So acting quickly and efficiently can be really important to make sure we preserve all the evidence and we're able to litigate these cases on behalf of our clients. Missouri does have, and I think we may have talked about this in prior videos, a fault-based system. In other words, we have what's called comparative fault. So even if a jury thinks that the motorcycle rider may have some fault in the accident, there may still be a recovery that can be had. And it's really important that as we work up these cases, we do so in a manner that preserves the accident and makes sure that the jurors can see that if there is any fault at all for the motorcycle rider, that we apportion the fault fairly. Now, many times there is not fault of a motorcycle rider involved in an accident, but working through those preconceived ideas and notions is critical in these cases to make sure that we're successful for our client. But I do always want to remind our potential clients or audience that even if you bear some fault in the accident, there is still a responsibility to be made whole for your injuries. And Missouri law provides that you're going to have a reduction in your recovery, but only to the extent that you're responsible for the accident. Personal perspective for mine is you should consult with an attorney right away if you're involved in a motorcycle accident. The truth is this: our fee model is a contingency fee model, meaning that we will not have any recovery unless we recover for you. We're going to front all costs and expenses. So there's no financial burden from the outset to get to work on your case. Some really important reasons why you want to consult with an attorney on a motorcycle accident case is that there may be severe and long-term injuries from a motorcycle wreck. It's not uncommon for people to have broken bones, loss of limb, or even loss of life if involved in a motorcycle accident. And the recovery, while it doesn't bring back everything that you may have lost, makes life just a little bit easier. And having counsel in your corner to help you through that dynamic is critical. It's also important to have counsel because in motorcycle accidents, often, as I mentioned, there may be disputed liability, meaning that the perspective of the person hearing the case, jury or judge, or even the adjuster, may have confusion or concern as to who caused the accident. And it can be critically important for us to preserve and to advocate for you to make sure that we get over any disputed liability concerns. If they're saying the rider was speeding, or if they're saying the rider failed to take an appropriate turn, it's really important for us to work the case up to make sure that we can get over the hurdle if they're arguing that our client did something wrong to cause the accident. Also, it can be difficult to work up these cases without counsel because many times there are insurance company challenges, and a lot of people believe for their own insurance that if they're to make a claim to try to recover for what's called uninsured motorist coverage or even underinsured motorist coverage, that because they've paid their premium every month to their insurance company, that the insurance company is going to be there in their corner. And the truth is they're not. We've been involved in enough cases and enough insurance companies to know that as soon as you begin to ask your insurance company for use of the policy to recover what you've paid every single month to have on your side, they shift gears and they're not going to work with you. They're going to often deny and delay claims. And it can be so important to have counsel to be able to advise you along the process to help you recover from all insurance coverage and all carriers if we can do so. Another reason is because many times motorcycle accidents have multiple parties involved, and it can be difficult to resolve that dynamic. You may have a 3-vehicle accident in which one vehicle caused the accident. The motorcycle gets involved in the accident subsequent to that, and this third car somehow exasperates or makes worse the already bad situation. And there may be a question of who caused what. And it's so important for us to work the case up in order to tell a narrative of what happened and why it happened, to be able to explain who should recover from who. Also, people who've worked with motorcycle accidents know that there's specific things that we need to work on right away. Although there's not crash data, there are ways that we can use skid marks and the accident scene to recreate exactly what took place, to be able to show who did what to cause the injury and to cause the accident. So what are the benefits of hiring an attorney on a motorcycle accident case? Well, one of the benefits is that it can be terribly frightening trying to navigate this realm without an attorney. You're going to be getting calls from an adjuster right away. You may have to answer questions of police officers. You may have to give statements to your own insurance company. And knowing who does what when can be really freeing and can take away some of the intimidation of the entire process. Although we handle civil cases, I want to remind people that everything that you say is often recorded. Often when you're calling the insurance company, speaking to the other insurance company, you're on a recorded line. And anything you say will likely be brought up later, potentially against you. So one of the greatest benefits of hiring counsel is to be able to help you navigate the path forward from the point of the accident to the point that the case is closed. Another benefit is to have the matter investigated. The truth is this: we oftentimes get police reports which will have things like accident diagrams. They'll have some information of the parties. They may have some information about the insurance, but often those police reports are void of really critical information that we need to have. The accident reconstruction diagrams and police reports are often very rudimentary. They may not necessarily mark exactly what happened when. So for us to be able to investigate a claim is critical. And it's also critical to do it soon so that the evidence doesn't go away and we're able to locate it later. What will happen with most motorcycle accident cases is that the insurance companies will begin to negotiate with you pretty early on in the case to try to resolve the case. And the truth is, those are high-pressured situations. We once had a client tell us that what we do is like a really high-stakes game of poker. It can be intimidating and it can be frightening when you're negotiating with these insurance companies that do this all day, every day. And for us to be able to advise our client to hold off, not accept the offer made to our client, can be really valuable, because oftentimes we can maximize our client's case value by litigating the case and doing some additional work before accepting some of the low offers that insurance companies tend to make to our clients. Because we work on a contingency fee basis, one of the benefits of having counsel with our office is we're not going to charge you to do any of the work up front. We'll front the cost for the accident reconstructionist if necessary. We'll pay for the police reports. We'll pay for medical records. We may be able to contact lien providers to help you get the treatment you need before a case is resolved. And the only way that you'll have to reimburse our office for our fees is if we're successful in your case. The reason that's important is because many times if our clients are involved in a serious injury accident, they're unable to return to work. And oftentimes they may not have the financial resources to make ends meet, hire counsel, and do everything else they need to do in their life. One of the most critical things that counsel can do for you in a motorcycle accident case is represent you in court. The truth is this: while people oftentimes try to navigate these situations prior to suit being filed with the insurance adjusters, there are very few people that are successfully file a case, litigate the case, and win in front of a jury. Having the experience of being in court and navigating these cases is critically important. What you'll oftentimes hear judges say if there's a party who's unrepresented in court is that they have to hold that party to the same standard that they heard counsel to. So when it comes to admitting evidence, calling witnesses, and proving your case in court, it's an unequal playing field if you don't have counsel in your corner. And having our firm help you with your case can even the playing fields or even give you a leg up to be successful in your case. So what are the steps to find counsel? This question often comes up. If you're involved in a motorcycle accident and you're trying to figure out, well, who should I hire? Here are some steps that you can take. 1, call different attorneys and talk to their offices. Get to know them and understand how they would navigate the situation you're in. Everything that you talk about with potential counsel is confidential. So feel comfortable asking honest questions to make sure you're hiring counsel that's going to do what you need them to do and help you in the case. I've often told people that hiring the right counsel is hiring the person you feel comfortable talking to. You oftentimes are hiring legal counsel for their advice. And if you can't ask them questions and get their advice, I'd argue they probably aren't the right attorney for you. Schedule consultations. Most consultations for personal injury attorneys are free, meaning you won't have to pay anything to talk to them about your case. Now, if you want to figure out if you're hiring the right attorney, schedule consultations. See if they call you back. See what they tell you and see how they advise you along the path. Make sure they're comfortable with what they're doing and make sure they make you feel comfortable that they know what they're doing. Ask them what experience they have with motorcycle accidents. What you'll find is somebody who's navigated this path time and time again will be able to help you out much more than somebody who has never dealt with these specific cases. Motorcycle accident cases are interesting to work on. We've dealt with motorcycle accidents at our office, have personal experience in dealing with motorcycle accidents. So ask the questions. Figure out if you hire counsel, if they have experience enough to help you navigate the case that you're involved in. It's important that you understand the fees and costs. So when talking with attorneys, ask them how they handle their fees. At our firm, like I mentioned, we handle everything on a contingency fee model, meaning that we front the cost and expenses, and we will only recover if we're successfully able to recover in your case. And then after working with counsel, scheduling consultations, having conversation with them, make a decision. Every single day that goes past the accident scene, the accident date, evidence is disappearing. Witnesses become hard to find. If there is crash data from vehicles involved, that data begins to go away because the cars are scrapped or totaled. The accident scenes, such as the skid marks, end up fading away and are cleaned up. So although I would like everybody to call many counsel, talk to them, make sure they're the right attorney for them, it's also critically important to make a decision so they begin to work on the case right away. What I'll say is these final remarks. Motorcycle accidents are scary. They can be life-altering situations, and having counsel to help navigate that realm can take a load of stress off your shoulders as you're trying to figure out what you need to do after the incident. So we hope that you feel comfortable to at least call us, give us the opportunity to talk to you about your case, and help you navigate the next steps. Thank you.